Okay, grade 7 review of chapter 2, adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing with decimals. These are 9 questions you will see probably on your test, so please pay attention as we go through this. If there's any further questions after you watch this video at home, please make sure you take your questions in. The first question says, what is 1.86 plus 0.934? Or, what is 1 and 86 hundredths plus 934 thousandths? Two ways to look at it. Estimate and calculate. So if I'm estimating, I want to round to manageable numbers. So 1.86 is pretty close to 2. 0.934 is pretty close to 1. So my estimation is going to be 3. Now for my calculation, what I want to do is the secret to adding and subtracting decimal numbers is you must line up your decimals. So in this particular case, this is what it looks like. If there's any spaces that are open, just put zeros down to fill those up. You don't have to. I prefer to do it. So 0 plus 4 is 4, 6 plus 3 is 9, 8 plus 7 is 17, carry your 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, and drop your decimal down. So the calculation I get is 2.794, or 2 and 794 thousandths. My estimation was 3. My calculation is close, so I know I'm probably right. The second question, estimate. So 22 take away 12. A good estimation would be 10. Calculation, same rules as before. Line up your decimals. Place zeros down where they're needed. 8 take away 0 is 8. Now 6 take away 9 you can't do without borrowing. So 6 tenths take away 9 tenths. You have to borrow. Now I like to borrow from all of 21 and make it 20. And make this 16. 16 take away 9 is 7. 0 take away 1 I can't do, so I borrow again. But 10 take away 1 is 9, and 1 take away 1 is 0. So the answer I get is, the calculation is 9.78. My estimation was 10, which is close, so I know my answer is probably right. With the third one, you have 3 operations, so 21.4 plus 11.39. I'll add those together first. I get 32.79. I then take 32.79 and subtract 8 tenths. I get 9, 1, and 3. So my answer is 31.99. I forgot to estimate. So if I estimate, I'm just going to make it really simple. 20 plus 10 take away 1 would be 29 is my estimation. My calculation was almost 32, so that's not too bad. That's still within 10% of the real answer. For question 4, you have the product. So estimating, I'm going to use 5 times 2 as my estimation. So a good estimation will be 10. When I calculate, you can either write your decimals or not write your decimals. I'll write them. Actually, I won't write them. I'll take them out. So because my estimation was 10, I can multiply and not have to worry about decimals anymore. I'm just going to use my decimals to mark my place. So 9 times 8 is 72. Carry my 7. 9 times 4 is 36. Plus 7 is 43. Now when I start with this number, this is a 10. And a 10 times a 1 is going to be more than 1. You'll never have something less than 1, which means I'm not going to have any 1, so I'm going to put a 0 there. 1 times 8 is 8. 1 times 4 is 4. Add them together, and I get 912. Now remember, my estimation up here was 10, so the only place I can put my decimal to keep it close is in between the 9 and the 1. So my calculation is 9.12. For the second question, or question 5, I'm going to put 12 times 1. A good estimation would be 12. Now if I drop my decimals and multiply them, 4 times 8 is 32. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 1 is 15. 9 and 4. My second number is 10. 10 times 8 is going to be more than 1, which there's no 1, so I'll put a 0. 1 times 8 is 8. 3, 2, and 1. Add them together. I get 17332. My estimation was 12, So the only place I can put my decimal to make it as close as 12 as it can be is between the 7 and the 3. So my answer is 17.332. Now the next three questions are division questions. I will not require you to do any algorithm for them. I just want you to be able to estimate. So for this one, if I say 240 divided by 10, all of you should be able to estimate that to be approximately 24. So the answer I'm looking for here is some number around 24. But I need to see your work, so I need to see what you rounded it to. Obviously, if you did 240 divided by, let's say this was 9.1, and you made it 9, that's not so easy, right? So even though it's 9.1, you want to choose a number that's divisible by the first one, so 10 would be the most logical one. You could have done 245 divided by 10. The only problem is, yeah, dividing by 10 is one of those easy ones, but you want to keep it as simple as possible. Yeah. For the question 7, you're going to estimate roughly 13 divided by 1, right, which is approximately 13. So your estimation for that one is 13. If I actually took my calculator, right, and I did 12.839 divided by 0.94, the actual calculation is 13.7-ish, right? So the estimation of 13 was pretty accurate. It was within 10% of the actual value, right? Probably within 5%. The next question, for these types of questions, what do you want to think about? Money. So you can think about 60 cents divided into piles of nickels. So if you have 60 cents and you're dividing into piles of nickels, how many piles can you make? 12. The estimation I wanted you to have was 12. If you take a calculator and go decimal 58 divided by decimal 04, you get 14.5, which is not a bad estimation if you said 12, right? You're still within that 10% or 20% accuracy. And the last question is an order of operations question. When given two operations, follow BODMAS. There are 3 steps with BODMAS: brackets, division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. So the first thing I'm going to do is my multiplication, Kyle, and I'm going to do it over here. So 1 times 4, an estimation will be 4 for that product. So when I put these numbers down, I actually get, I'll have to extend this here, 864, 4.68. My estimation was 4, so 4.68. 4.83 plus 4.68. Now notice, when I did this multiplication, it stayed as my second term. It didn't go to the front of my equation. It stayed where it was. This came straight down as well. Now I can line up my decimals and add them on paper. 9.51 is your answer. Okay, how many got a perfect score of 9 out of 9? How many were pretty darn close, just made one stupid error? Okay, or a couple stupid errors. How many have no idea what they're doing? Excellent. So everybody's ready then. Okay. If I said to you tomorrow the test is going to look exactly like this, how many would be able to write it? How many would be able to write it tomorrow? If I said, how many want to write it still on Friday? All right, Friday it is. Okay.